Hello. This is already feeling so different because I'm holding the mic. I thought it would be fun to hold the mic and to talk about what it was like for me growing up. And the reason this has been sparked is because I was driving last Friday with RJ and we were going to go thrifting, and my car often just drives into the direction of my hometown where I was raised. I feel so comfortable there, and luckily it's not too far away from here. So we got into the car and we were driving a path we've taken hundreds of times because I didn't go far from where I grew up. I always say I live in this little globe, this little bubble globe, and I didn't go far, and I haven't been many places, to be honest. But as we were driving, RJ, the little oracle of wisdom, my built-in best friend, says to me, "Mom, isn't it strange that you've driven these streets so many times and you've seen all the changes that have occurred over the years that you've driven these streets so many times?" And I said, "Man, yes. Like, I have been driving those streets since I could drive. Like, ever since I got my driver's license, I have pretty much driven very, very similar same paths. Like I said, I don't go many places. I have traveled, but typically I stick around what I feel familiar with." And that being said, things sometimes don't feel very familiar anymore. You know what I mean? So what it sparked in me is I started telling stories. I was like, "Oh, RJ, look at that hospital right there, St. Jude. That's where Aussie was born. And when he was born, they only had that one blue building right there, not that huge one there and that newer one there, the one with the bridge that goes across the street. None of that was there. They had a gigantic parking lot and a tiny little blue hospital, and that's where our first son was born." And it's changed. It's changed so much. And he is 28. So in 28 years, all these buildings went up around it and things changed. And then it got me thinking about just so many things. I have memories of my parents taking us to the Red Onion, which no longer exists. And it felt like often. I don't know how often it was. And the Red Onion was a Mexican food restaurant. I always ordered a Shirley Temple, and who knows what else. All I can remember is the Shirley Temple. And if we weren't going there, we were going to Angelo and Vinci's just down the street and having Italian food. And I loved that place because it was so eclectic. It's so cool, and I love the inside of it, and I love Italian food, and that was my favorite. And we would explore around, and they had like a dungeon, and they've moved. They were first in a building over here, and then they got the building over here. Been to both of them. Grew up going to the first building that's next to Drip, a coffee shop we like to go to now, and that is brand new because in that corner, that's where Ron's Birkenstock used to be, where I bought my first pair of Birkenstocks, and now you wouldn't even recognize it. Before, it was like a small little corner strip mall, sort of. Not even mall, that's the not right word, just like a strip center. And Ron's Birkenstock was right there, and I got my first maroon pair of Birkenstocks when I was in high school. It's not at all the same, and I will show you these things. And it makes my heart sad for the changes that occur. It really does. It makes my heart a little sad and very nostalgic, and I'm that way. I'm just that way in general. I'm very nostalgic, and I hold on to things and memories, and I know we're supposed to live in the present, and I surely do try to do that as well. I try to live in the present, and I enjoy the rain and little animals and hearts I find and feathers I find, and now whiskers when I'm cleaning. Thanks to my friend Gina, who opened my eyes to whiskers. As soon as your eyes are opened to something new that you think you've never seen before, you start seeing them everywhere. And so when she told me about whiskers, I was like, whiskers? I mean, honestly, I didn't even know our cats lost their whiskers. I didn't. And then she showed me her whisker jar, and I was like, I think I want to find whiskers. And then I started finding them everywhere. And especially when I'm ready to clean. And who likes to clean and vacuum? I mean, maybe some people, but I really don't. I just do it because it's important to keep my house tidy. But I always look forward to finding a whisker because almost every time I find a whisker when I clean and I vacuum. So that, oh boy, I'm getting off topic. How the heck did I get to whiskers from? Oh, yeah, because I live in the past often, but I also live in the present, and I try not to think about the future, to be honest. I really don't, because I get really scared when I think of the future. And when I say scared, I mean, I just, I don't want to lose people I love, and I hate thinking about that because it's just the truth and the reality of life. I just want to hold on to the people I love as long as most humanly possible. So when I think about it, I just kind of get terrified, and so I can't go there. Let's not even go there. Nope. Let's just live in the now, like the right now. Going back to the past, though, because I do like to reminisce. So I'm going to be showing you around my old stomping grounds. I might even show you the very first condominium that my parents moved into when I was 4. I was 4 years old. Prior to that, I don't really remember any dwellings that I lived in. I've heard about them. I remember slight little blinks of memories of places I've lived. Especially when it was nap time, because I hated naps, and I remember I would be taking a nap and I could smell this. My mom would mop the kitchen floor and wax it, so I could remember laying in my bed at nap time, trying not to go to sleep and smelling the wax. And then she'd put a big box fan in front of the kitchen to dry the wax on the floor, and I remember that smell. I do. And I remember not wanting to take a nap, but I don't remember the apartment at all. I think it was an apartment that we lived in. Don't remember it, but I do remember the first condominium we lived in. It was on Vista Grande, and I met my lifetime forever friend in that little neighborhood. She was waiting for me, by the way. She knew someone was going to move in that empty condominium. Her parents told her that people were moving in there, and she just knew that her best friend would be moving there, and she couldn't wait. And when we moved in, she greeted me and I believe said something, don't quote me because I'm very bad with exact words, but I've been waiting for you all my days. And from that day forward, we were friends forever, still are. She is my Sun Daisy. We've added to it. She is Sun Daisy Beet, and I am Moon Rose Mushroom. I know, we're kind of weird, but we love being weird together, and we were meant for each other, and that is where I met my very first longtime best friend. My condominium, I'll be showing you, was here, and then she just lived, there, and we would get in all sorts of trouble together. You don't even want to know. I know we were so little, and you're like, what kind of trouble could you get into? Well, yeah, we did somehow got into troubles, and we ran away together with the wagon, and we got to walk to school together. We had 2 routes. We had the 7-Eleven route, where I kind of liked, because this is going to be really mind-blowing, but I don't think I chewed very much gum. I don't know if I wasn't allowed, but I had caps. I had silver caps in my mouth, so I don't think my mom was a huge fan of chewing gum and things that were sticky. So I really wanted the gum. And so there would be gum, that people stepped on the ground. Yeah, I'm admitting this. This is what I would do, and I almost still have the memory of the taste of the grainy, sandy gum. I do. And we would chew gum, we'd peel the gum off, and we would continue on to school. My very first school I ever went to, besides the preschool with the huge pumpkin out front, was Rolling Hills Elementary School. And so we would walk to the school, and there was another route that cut through a field. And I don't even know, did my parents know we were cutting through a vacant field? I don't know, because back then in the 70s, things were different, and they just kind of let us go. They just let us go. And there wasn't a lot of fear of things, so we would just explore. We were able to run wild. And so we would walk through this field to get to school as the shortcut. That was the shortcut. It has now also been built up with homes, I think condominiums or townhomes, and there was a fence, a chain link fence, and we would crawl underneath it and then walk through another part of a neighborhood and then turn a right and end up at Rolling Hills. So I see the memories are just flooding in. They're just flooding in. Then I went to including that school, about 5 different schools before I even got to high school. Rolling Hills, and then it was Sunset Lane, and then it was Fullerton Christian, and then it was Eastside Christian, and then it was Brethren. And then finally from Brethren, I got to Whittier Christian, where I met Motorcycle Man. Now, he didn't know me from Adam. I was on the freshman campus. This school had 2 campuses for some crazy reason. They had a freshman campus where they kept all of us freshmen just on our own island. And then after school, we would take the bus to the big campus where the rest of the school was, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors. I was in Tall Flags, yeah. That just shows you my level of the social ranking in high school. Not a popular kid. I was on Tall Flags. Loved it though, was really good for the arm toning, and I had fun. And we got to wear these tall white go-go boots that my lovely big calves filled out, because I got calves for go-go boots. Anyway, so I would take the bus to the big campus, we called it, and I would see this gorgeous being of I'll call him a boy, because he was probably kind of a boy, teenager. He had the blonde hair that swooped over. He used to bleach the front, and just super, he just looked so cool. Too cool for school, too cool for me, really. So he didn't know I existed, but he had a little girlfriend at the time. He then was a sophomore because he was a grade ahead of me, and I would watch them hold hands, and I'd just be like, someday, I'd like to meet this guy someday. But he didn't know I existed until science class. In science class, we would laugh and crack each other up all the time, and I'll never forget one time he said to me, he's like, you know what I like about you? You seem like the kind of girl that doesn't mind getting dirt under her fingernails. That has just stuck in my head. I have no idea what he meant by that. But he would tell me about how his family would go dirt bike riding, and how his grandpa had a house in the desert with a pool. And we just talked about all kinds of things. And I had a friend, acquaintance, I'll say, that had a huge crush on him and wanted to go to some Sadie Hawkins with them. And I encouraged her to ask him, even though I had a huge crush on him, but I was like playing it cool. Like we're just going to be friends. I'm going to start out that way. We definitely were just friends. Yeah, we were just friends. And so I helped set him up with this person, and they went to Sadie Hawkins, and I also went with them with another boy. So the 4 of us went on this Sadie Hawkins outing. I have no pictures, but gosh, the whole time I was crushing on Rich, the whole time. And then eventually I think we both realized, well, maybe I always knew, but he realized, wow, this girl's pretty cool. And so the summer between his senior year and my junior year, we dated for that whole summer, and it was literally the best summer of my life. And then he broke up with me. And so his senior year and my junior year, I was often angry at him because I didn't understand, why did he break up with me? That is how I met Motorcycle Man, there at the Whittier Christian campus. My parents often had me in private schools. I don't regret it. I don't regret those private schools, because had I not gone, I would have never met Motorcycle Man. Maybe, but most likely not. And the funny thing about that is I really truly think we were meant to be together, without a doubt, without a doubt. So everything happens for a reason. Should I take you back to Fullerton? They had so many more shops when I was a teenager. Now it pretty much mostly has bars, tattoo parlors, if they're even called tattoo parlors anymore. That sounds really old-fashioned. And hair places to do your hair. All the cute independent shops, there's only just a handful of them left in survival. And then there's the places that never change. This has been here ever since I was a teenager. It's one of my favorite places to eat. It's as old as I am. So we're gonna peek inside here today and have my favorite Dallas salad and Kakiliki. Maybe I should just wrap this up. Like, if you, I don't even know if you'll find this interesting. If you find this interesting in any way, please comment below, and I'll do other ones like this. I'll show you the house I grew up in, you know, as next. That was after the townhome that my parents had, or the condominium. We then moved, you know, to a home. They bought their first home, and I could show you that if you're interested. And I don't know, I don't even know how this will go over. We'll just have to wait and see. So until next time, peace, love, and keep going.